These press trips are some of my favorite. This is the Ram 1500 RHO. This sits on top of their sport truck lineup, basically replacing the TRX. We are going to take it out here in one of the toughest terrain places on the planet, Johnson Valley, and see what it can do. So if people are going to find anything to complain about this truck, the first thing that it's going to be is the mill that's in this thing. No, it does not get the V8 that was in the TRX. This gets a 3-liter straight 6 turbo, but it makes 540 horsepower, 521 pound-feet of torque. You're going to go 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. You've got a top speed of 118 miles an hour. And I think the reason to be happy about this new powertrain is you lose 150 pounds off the front end.
That lighter engine is the 3-liter Hurricane High Output, and it's not a dainty flower. This is actually more powerful than the regular Ford Raptor without the V8. And it's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters, so you can take shifting into your own hands. You also get a robust Borg-Warner transfer case.
The suspension is set up with Bilstein Blackhawk E2 shocks. There are adaptive dampers on here. I mean, this thing is monitoring every single thing that you're doing. The way that it's kind of eating up washboards and even pretty big whoops out here in Johnson Valley, which you know just how incredibly whooped out this whole area can get. It's super rocky. It can be super crappy out here. And even in the passenger seat, when you don't really have much of anything to hold onto, I actually do feel like it's a pretty comfortable ride. It doesn't feel like it's too soft to me. It doesn't feel like it's too harsh. On washboards, you could probably take this thing like 60, 70 miles an hour and not really feel any kind of pressure. On this, guys, it's really comfortable.
Those shocks work with an independent front suspension to expertly handle ride comfort and body roll of the truck when under extreme compression. Electronic valves continually adjust damping for better control over washboard and whoops at speed. And it's got hydraulic jounce control to prevent bottoming out at peak compression. I think this is a very successful setup and will allow drivers to push this truck as hard as they want to. And hey, if water fording is your jam, you've got a 32-inch limit.
And honestly, when you're driving on washboard and you're kind of going at a pretty decent clip, even if you get a little bit of a surprise, these dampers are super good at making little adjustments and adaptations and absorbing a ton of stuff. Oh, you guys, Baja driving is my favorite kind of driving out here, and this is not disappointing me. You really can get up a lot of speed out here and have a lot of fun. Something with this powertrain that you might feel is a little bit lacking is you are probably going to feel a little bit of that turbo lag, which you do not feel on the TRX. But what you lack in that kind of immediacy, you can make up for both in the paddles, and I'm going to say this, that 150 pounds that it's missing off the front end makes this a much more maneuverable truck. There's something that's perhaps a little bit more refined, maybe a little bit more sophisticated about driving the RHO. Personally, TRX versus Raptor, I always preferred the Raptor, but I would love to put the Raptor head to head with this truck and see where I would land.
Oh, and you also have a dual exhausts just so you can hear it coming. However, that might not be enough.
The one thing you might really miss actually is the noise. This is a very sedate and very quiet interior right now. It's sort of very luxury car feeling. You know, I definitely appreciate that about the TRX, about the Raptor R. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a feeling of speed and definitely more of an aggressive kind of like atmosphere within here. But you know what, to me, it's really all about the driving anyway. So I don't miss it that much. So some of the things that are going to help you out here, 35-inch tires, 18-inch wheels, 11.8 inches of ground clearance. You're going to have 13 inches of travel in the front, 14 inches of travel in the back. You've got a really aggressive looking stance. Of course, you have all kinds of air up here, that big, huge hood scoop up there. It's really going to let that engine breathe. But you're also going to have a couple of other options. You have recovery hooks in the front and in the rear. You can opt for rock rails, or you can get this powder coated step, which is usually pretty good, although it might kind of get in your way a little bit, but not necessarily. You can tow 8,320 pounds, and you can, I think, let's see what the capacity is. What did I say it was? 8,380 towing capacity, and 1520. Okay, towing capacity, and I keep forgetting this number. 15, are we sure it's 1520? 1520, you're right, 1520. You're looking at 8,380 when it comes to towing, and
1520.
1880 for towing. No. Okay, cut it. 8,380 when it comes to towing, and 1680.
1520.
Jesus Christ. And 15.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I can't. 1520?
Yes.
1520.
Voiceover.
1520. No, we just did it. 1520 payload. I did it. 1520. When it comes to the business end, when it comes to the business end of this truck, you're looking at a 5.7 bed, no other options there. 8,380 towing capacity, 1520 payload.
Okay, glad I finally got that out. But you're also getting a Dana 60 rear axle with an electronic locking diff. You're going to get 7 drive modes, including tow, mud, sand, rock, snow, sport, Baja, which, yes, is the only mode that I've drove in this entire time, and custom. You also get a launch control with which to have some off-the-line fun. You do get fender flares to accommodate the RHO's 6-inch wider track over the standard 1500. But let's take a look inside because, guys, this interior is pretty special.
The biggest thing that you're going to notice the first time you get in here is this. I mean, you can get up to 50 inches of screen in this truck. You can have a head-up display, you can have a 12.3-inch gauge cluster here, a 14-inch screen here, and a 10-inch screen over here, which I can't even see this is on right now, but from my vantage point, I can't see it. Normally, I'm not really a fan of that over there. I usually kind of call it the divorce package because I don't want anyone like messing with my settings over here, but there's something super cool about what you can do over there. So where you normally wouldn't be able to go in and like look for points of interest or restaurants or gas stations or anything on your navigation, the person sitting over there, you can actually put them to work and make them do something. And they can search while you're driving. They can also look at camera views, so you can kind of see a front camera or a rear camera in case you kind of need another set of eyes when you're driving off-road. And while, yes, you do have a ton of screen here, you also have plenty of buttons. I personally, you guys already know this, I like kind of a mix of both, so you're not completely screen dependent. As for the rest of the appointments in here, I mean, cool materials, cool patterns, great stitching, comfortable seats, like there's leather or Alcantara here, which is kind of suede, like really cool badging. The other thing that I really like about this truck is the placement of this. So this is your 4-wheel drive, your 4-low, your axle lock, your launch control. I really like that everything is right here instead of somewhere around in this mess here, because this is kind of where the action is, and this is an action vehicle. So it's right at your fingertips. Awesome placement, Ram. Nice job.
Visibility is good. The belt line on this truck isn't too high. Rear legroom looks great, and there's an electronically controlled rear sliding window. You also get dual wireless charging pads. You can opt for carbon fiber bits all over the cabin, and you have power adjustable seats. The L2 Plus hands-free driving assist is available, but don't forget, even though it's hands-off, your head's got to be up with your eyes on the road. When it comes to other extras, there are some. You can add one significant $10,000 package that gets you heated rear seats, ventilated front and rear seats, massaging front seats, a power tailgate, power adjustable pedals with memory, and navigation, among other luxury bits. You can also add beadlock wheels for $1,900. Certainly when it comes to the interior appointments, this is a much nicer truck than the Ford F-150 Raptor.
When it comes to price, you're looking at $71,990. That's the base price on this thing. You know, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but in a sea of 6-figure trucks, Maybe I'm like just jaded at this point, but that actually sounds pretty affordable. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind.
By comparison, the Ford F-150 Raptor starts just over 80 grand. And while we're at it, let's talk about competitors. You're looking at the Ford F-150 Raptor, I'm going to say the Ford F-150 Raptor, and maybe the Ford F-150 Raptor.
If you're in the market and you're ready to buy a truck, click on that link somewhere over there in that corner. Kelley Blue Book can help you find a fair purchase price.
When looking at the other sport trucks in Ram's lineup, you've got the Warlock, which is a capable truck that's got a pretty basic interior. There's the Rebel, which adds some more amenities on the interior. And then there's the tip of the spear, RHO. Guys, I am really liking the growth of this sport truck segment. All I can say is more, please.
So, how do I wrap up this truck? Oh, well, number one, I definitely need and want more time in it. But the amount of time that I've spent out here, both in the passenger seat, honestly, and in this seat, I'm really having a great time. I love the way that the suspension is riding. I actually feel like this is very adequately powered. I think it's really maneuverable. I think the steering works really well with everything. Certainly the brakes are perfectly good. Everything that you possibly want. Like I said, I would love to put this head-to-head with a Raptor. Honestly, I think the Ram RHO, I think it could give it a run for its money. $15-20 when it comes to payload. Okay, good. What else am I